Do you guys remember 2009? Coronavirus wasn't even in existence yet, but swine flu was on the rage. And angry moms weren't known as Karens, but just known as bitches.
But I don't need your help.
Yes, you do, motherfucker.
And Modern Warfare 2 was making people rage so hard that they fell out of their chairs in anger just because of the phrase, "You're so bad."
What? You didn't even have. Oh my god!
Speaking on the topic of rage, there is one movie that completely tore apart the entirety of a fan base. And considering you read the title of this video and you're still watching at this point, then I'm sure you already know what this video is about. Dragon Ball Evolution. This abomination is my first attempt to pick apart something as whitewashed, culturally insensitive, blatant disregard for any of the hundreds of pages in source material in the original manga of Dragon Ball that supposedly this entire movie is based off of. And just one of the things that really stands out is just the absolute awful character designs. Goku is now a simp in high school. Piccolo went from being a green badass that wanted to take over the world to Darth Vader, but without the mask and just looks ridiculous. Bulma was changed from a pivotal character that kicked off the entire journey that happens in Dragon Ball by popping a cap directly into Goku's head after he literally throws her car, to just a background character that shows up when the plot demanded it. And Chi-Chi changed from an innocent girl with a pure spirit like Goku to a strawberry slut that uses the power of boners to basically make Goku do what she wants. And then there's Roshi.
I am Muten Roshi, the Invincible!
Ah, look at how they massacred my boy. Roshi is always and will always be my favorite character in Dragon Ball. But when I see him in this movie, I got secondhand embarrassment from viewing this character. Not only did they ruin his most endearing character trait about him being a genuine pervert, but when this man grabs an entire handful of Bulma's ass, do you know what happens next? He drops her. He drops her right on the ground. Why? I have no idea, but my boy, look what they did to you. The original wouldn't have done this. He would have taken it in stride. So that's the majority of the main cast. What's that? Where's the other characters? Oh yeah, they're not in the movie. Yes, they were cut from the movie entirely. Tien, Krillin, Yamcha somehow made it into the movie, and he looks like this. Launch, Oolong, Puar, Pilaf, and even Shu. The homie Shu couldn't even get a reference. But Mai is apparently in the film, and they made her a sexy Asian ninja girl, which, I mean, I don't have a problem with. In fact, kind of like it. So now that I've talked about the god-awful characters, let's talk about the fucking terrible plot. So in the first minute and a half of this movie, they fucked up, stating that Piccolo and Ozaru are basically teammates.
A warlord named Piccolo came from beyond the stars, bringing darkness and chaos to our once peaceful world. Aided by his disciple Ozaru.
Ozaru being controlled by Piccolo to do his bidding. Then brave warriors using a magical spell, the Mafuba, which that's not what that is, to seal Piccolo for thousands of years. Now, listen, everyone. As a veteran weeb myself,
Oh my.
hearing these things made me very angry. I hate this movie. The Great Ape form, which is basically reduced to a werewolf monkey man in this movie, had absolutely no correlation to Piccolo whatsoever in the original manga.
What the hell is this?
This movie is already off to a terrible start, but it gets worse. Allow me to say right off the bat, this movie's effects are so bad. I gagged and nearly threw up from the amount of CGI sweat they put on Justin Chatwick's face. That it is genuinely gross. So after a poor attempt at fight choreography, Noku is knocked out by a CGI hand fart to the face, and his head gets knocked into some melon. So since this movie is the bane of anime live-action movies, they decided to completely steal Bulma's thunder in the way of making Gohan tell Goku about the Dragon Balls. Gather all 7, get a wish granted. So, right off the bat in the next scene, someone just straight up tries to murder Goku at school, which is fun. So, when Goku tries to confront him, all he does is show off that massive forehead vein, which you'll see plenty of in the movie. Jesus Christ, this movie is already a steaming pile. Is it over yet? Oh, we're not even 10 minutes into this movie. So, with no warning at all, or even build up to his character, Piccolo is already out of the Mafuba. So, Piccolo, looking a lot like Martian Manhunter, decided to show off his power by sending down a ki blast that destroys a random village, and I would assume also killed people in the process. But let me just say, this guy is the worst about killing people because there's a decent majority of people still running around, so he just did a terrible job. And so with that, allow me to make another comparison, if you will. In the original anime, King Piccolo was old, and his power was far from what it used to be. But when he regained his youth, he showed the audience exactly how powerful he was compared to the entire cast. And he does so by literally killing Shenron as soon as he's returned to his younger self. The star MacGuffin of the entire series was killed at that moment to show everyone that Goku's fight had the highest stakes, because whoever came out on top, there would be no rematch. See, that is badass. This Piccolo, just fucking destroy a village. Who cares? So then, super sexy Asian Ninja Mai makes it onto the scene and she just means business. Literally in a shoot first, ask questions never kind of mood. But the entire scene's tension is completely ruined by one frame. The full reveal of Piccolo, the Demon King. So, in the next scene following this, we get to see yet another poor character choice of Goku being a simp for Chi-Chi. Granted, they weren't going for something super sexual or anything, but anything would have been better than him daydreaming about her eating strawberries. I mean, you do you. I'm no one to kink shame. If strawberries are what tickle your snake out of its hole, I won't judge. So after Nico makes my ears bleed due to him saying Nemix instead of Namix,
Grandfather would say, beware of the Nemix.
we learn that the movie got something right and still made Goku an idiot. So in a later scene, Goku makes Chi-Chi turned on after she figures out you're not like the other boys. And already in her mind, she has borderline cucked the bully character she's dating because Goku fight with Ki. Oh my god. And I guess using hand farts is hot, apparently. So after some cringeworthy dialogue, Chi-Chi invites Trico to her house for a party, but uh-oh, Bully is looking for trouble. And after another poor attempt at a fight scene, Ukog pretty much uses Ultra Instinct to dodge everything coming his way. Hell yeah, kid. Bullies are bad.
Missed. Missed again.
after an uncomfortable amount of silence between Wukong and Chi-Chi, we finally get something good because ultra sexy super assassin Mai comes back onto the scene and just damn. Anyways, Gohan dies in this scene, but I don't really care. I'm too busy thinking about my girl Mai. Just hot damn. So Gohan tells Chatwick-kun that he needs to find Master Roshi and Bowser to help him on his journey. And I know this is supposed to be an emotional scene, but my attention is completely taken back because I just can't stop staring at Justin's fucking forehead. Look at those things. They look like they're about to burst. So the next day, Goku finds a yellow gi that for some reason has the Turtle School symbol on it. Then out of nowhere, we get the worst character in this movie besides the main man himself. This poor excuse for adaptation in the likes of Bulma briefs. Bulma in canon is the smartest female character in the entire series. From her intellect alone, she is able to make a dragon radar, create a time machine in her later years, and even able to repair alien technology in the form of the Scouters. This movie basically said, we made Mai a badass, let's do the same for Bulma, in a way that every person she meets that she does not know, she must point a gun at. So after a little spat and Bulma calling a Dragon Ball a Prometheum orb,
My father found that Prometheum orb 20 years ago and you stole it from me last night.
they learn that they need to work together to find the rest of the Dragon Balls to stop King Piccolo. But before we move on, can we just take a moment and reflect on the fact that Trivago knows about Namex, knows that they're aliens, and even knows who Piccolo is. But when he first meets Bulma, he can't help but ask, are you Piccolo?
I know it's here.
Are you Piccolo?
Even though in an earlier scene, Gohan tells him in his dying breath, Piccolo has returned. He's coming for the Dragon Balls.
Piccolo has returned. He's after the Dragon Ball.
Just, are you fucking kidding, kid? You know what a girl is. You just talked to one last night. So in a flashback, we get a great shot of Mai's booba and Bulma wasting no time pulling out her guns and opening fire on her very shapely ass, stating that she stole her dad's 5-star Dragon Ball and she just wants to get it back. Alright, I need to get this off my chest. Dragon Ball is notorious for bombastic fight scenes, powerful moments, and gritting action sequences, but one thing that stands out as well in this movie's complete disembowelment of fan favorite characters, Dragon Ball is one of the few anime that gave us genuinely strong women, with the likes of Bulma, Chi-Chi, and Launch, hell, even Videl for that matter. These women, with their personality and strong will, were able to lock down some of the most powerful beings in the multiverse, two of which being Vegeta and Goku. You want to know how this movie makes their women strong? They give that bitch a gun and make her use that gun whenever possible. So, while looking for Roshi in the city, Bulma ends up finding yet another Dragon Ball that is evidently inside Roshi's house. So after Gecko and Roshi exchange stand rushes, they decide to make the scene so much worse and so much more awkward. Because as Roshi is introducing himself in a very spectacular fashion, Chatwick-kun just makes everything awkward by flat out saying, "My grandfather is dead."
My grandfather is dead.
And just ruins his moment. Like an ass. So Roshi does some Tai Chi and completely fucks up the name of the dragon, calling him Shenlong and not Shenron. and tells Goku, as well as the audience, how to use the Dragon Balls, even though Gohan already told him the gist of how to use them in the first 10 minutes of the movie. After some convincing, the three of them all decide to travel together. Roshi talks about Avatar The Last Airbender for some reason,
Airbending.
and makes Justin carry everything like a human camel. Their first destination is taking Goku to train where Roshi trained with the ancient masters. But guess what? Chi-Chi is here too, and that just fucks everything up for our terrible trio. Roshi talks about his erectile dysfunction.
My key is shriveling up.
Then Bulma comes out of nowhere to tell him that another Dragon Ball has been found. Then after a terrible CGI road scene that looks about as comparable as Nigerian helicopter pilots, they fall down in a hole. Roshi gropes the only good thing about Bulma in this movie, then drops her like the waste of character potential she is. And then out of nowhere, we meet our boy Yamcha.
Yamcha's here.
I am?
Yamcha was Bulma's first boyfriend in the anime, and in this movie, he looks like a diseased lion made a baby with the angry Chinese man and made him. I mean, it's close enough, I'd say. So after Bulma flirts with him, he decides to help him out, but turns out he's the one who made the hole and wants money in return. So Bulma gives him a look that she gives everyone in this movie and calls him a low-life bandit. Anyway, Yamcha decides to flex that he owns a ladder, then dips. Roshi decides to tell the same fucking story about Piccolo that the audience has heard 4 times now, and then completely wastes Bulma and Deku's time by showing that he could have gotten out of that hole the entire time and just did nothing. So after intimidating Yamcha, who is no more than a bitch in this movie, he decides to help the group. And the next scene that follows is yet another total disregard for any of the source material. Super duper ultra sexy Asian ninja assassin Mai finally speaks in this movie and tells Piccolo that Roshi is training Goku. And Piccolo, who at this point has never talked more than a sentence in this movie, is out for blood. And then by using his blood, he makes xenomorph knockoffs to try and stop Roshi and friends. This is another problem this movie has. It changed so much and got so much wrong that it is genuinely an embarrassment for not only the filmmaking industry, but the anime industry as a whole. Even the writers have apologized for even playing a part in the making of this movie. And still, to this day, people want to forget about this movie's existence. And I don't blame them in the slightest. Everyone knows that whatever form of torture pales in comparison to being tied up and just being forced to watch this movie. And I'm pretty sure Devil Artemis said it best with how people feel about this movie. It's pain, pure and unrelenting, and nothing more. So this fucking scene happens where the xenomorph knockoffs find the gang, and then possibly the most nauseating scene in this entire movie happens. Because there is so many jump cuts and camera movements that it genuinely gave me a headache. So the gang needs to get across the lava lake, and what Carrot does is he throws the bodies of the xenomorphs into the lava and makes a bridge using their bodies. And we get a scene that looks so bad. The only thing I can do that would make it at all funny would be adding Mario noises.
Let's go!
Hopefully that eased some of the pain. So right as the Dragon Ball is about to be taken, super amazing, spectacular, and incredible sexy Asian ninja assassin Mai just straight up kicks Justin in the face and takes the Dragon Ball. But after the worst attempt at making Goku look strong by doing the classic punch in the face but no reaction move. So Roshi and him meet up and they talk about how the Dragon Balls are talking to him or something. It's just dumb. It's just very dumb. So Roshi and gang come to the conclusion that they can't gather the Dragon Balls in time before the eclipse, and their only plan left is to go see his old master, Winston Zedmore, who finally retired from busting ghosts and took a more spiritual approach to life. Roshi wants Winston to make him a new vessel for the Mafuba to capture Piccolo and seal him away. Winston agrees, and we get to see my baby girl Mai in some half-decent fight choreography. During their match, she scratches the arm of Chi-Chi in order to take some of her blood, which will be important later. So, a whole lot of nothing happens, and we finally get to see possibly the worst scene in this entire movie. Welcome to Dragon Ball Evolution's Guide to Ki. So throughout the movie, Roshi refers to Ki as airbending, and the final stage of the technique is the signature move, the Kamehameha Wave. But for no reason at all, he just starts doing some stretches. I don't even know what he's doing. Maybe he's still stiff from the night before. He's got to get the lactic acid flowing, you know? So he shows Goku how he uses his ki and uses air to light a lamp, which makes no sense whatsoever. Air doesn't light torches, you dumbass movie. Sorry, I lost myself for a second there. Anyways, this infamous scene that still, to this day, makes me want to put this movie in a hole and bury it forever. So, after Son-kun tries and fails to light a lamp with his ki, he decides to cheat, which completely ruins any connection to his anime counterpart. The original Goku learned that nothing is gained in life without hard work, determination, and pushing yourself to achieve his goal of always becoming stronger, breaking his limits whenever possible. This is not my Goku. The moment he realized he couldn't do this task, he attempts to cheat in order to make people think he did what he was told to do. So, in order for Goku to do his ki attacks, he apparently needs a sexy Asian girl to motivate him, which is exactly what role Chi-Chi is there for when she just shows up out of nowhere. So, Chi-Chi tells Goku that for every lamp he lights, he can move one step closer to her. And he does. And by the end, they kiss. How sweet. So, next we get just the most ridiculous scene in this film. Bulma hears a noise and is ready to shoot someone, like finger on the trigger, just ready to put one between the eyes, when she sees that it's just Chi-Chi. After some awkward small talk and a very forced assumption that Goku and Chi-Chi did the nasty,
I don't think Goku had it in him.
It's always the quiet ones.
they quickly realize that Goku was just brushing his teeth after eating some fresh cat for dinner. They chase after Chi-Chi because she took the Dragon Balls, but since she's pretty sus and they find out pretty quickly that she was the imposter. So the real Chi-Chi in Mortal Kombat-like fashion is just ready to throw hands. And since Chi-Chi has a tight grip on Goku's manhood, seeing one on the ground and asking for help is enough to straight knock a bitch out. Mai is revealed to be the imposter, and even after some terrible special effects, she dips. So Mai runs off with the Dragon Balls, and Piccolo is ready to summon the dragon so he can grant his wish. But Roshi is here to stop him. They each fire a ki blast at each other, and the resulting shockwave separates the Dragon Balls from each other. Goku, finally looking the part now, after an entire hour of this god-awful piece of cinema, is looking like he's gearing up to fight Piccolo. But he comes to find out that after saying that he will defeat Ozaru,
I will defeat Ozaru.
he learns from Piccolo that he is Ozaru,
You will become Ozaru.
and just completely gives up when he's told this little bit of knowledge. So then we get even more terrible effects in the form of his great ape transformation. And oh dear God, is it painful to watch.
Serve
So Roshi tries to use the Mafuba but fails miserably, and so Monkey Man literally chokes the life out of him. In his dying breath, he gives Goku some life advice, and Goku manages to overcome the Ozaru and turn himself back into his normal state again. So, in a little scene, Bulma and Mai are fighting, but since Bulma has to be the only hot one in this movie, they kill off my girl. But the movie still gives us a good long look at her shapely ass. Thanks, movie. And now for the most lackluster battle I have ever seen in any movie ever. The actual battle between Goku and Piccolo. So, Goku, apparently harnessing the power of the Great Ape, is ready to beat the living shit out of Martian Pickle Hunter, and we get this scene where Goku is charging a Kamehameha. And allow me to say that Justin genuinely gave it his all with this scene, and that is the only amount of props he will get from me. He defeats Piccolo, and using the Dragon Balls, they go to revive Roshi, and we get yet another disappointing scene. This movie is just full of them. The reveal of Shenron. So, a dragon about the size of actual Shenron's pinky finger pops out of the Dragon Balls and brings Roshi back to life. All is well and good now. So, Goku and Chi-Chi meet up and decide that if their relationship is going to be any good, they need to see who beats the fuck out of each other better. And so that's how the movie ends. Just... oh, it's so bad. This movie is so bad. Okay. So that's Dragon Ball Evolution. A movie so bad and so revered that even mentioning it is enough to invoke pain. But I would like to think of Dragon Ball Evolution as a lesson. Anime is the hardest thing to adapt. And anyone who thinks they can take on the challenge of making a film based on anime, just know that even one change to your movie can take it from being at least admirable to this movie's level of awful. Zack Snyder himself said that he'd be open to making a Dragon Ball Z live action. And I swear to God, Zack, if that movie, if it even gets greenlit, I pray that it is better than this train wreck. Dragon Ball Evolution is a movie that should not ever be remembered, but also never forgotten at the same time. Hey, how's it going? This is post-editor, YouTube guy. I just finished this thing 2 minutes ago. It's 1:48 in the morning. I'm very tired. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much. This was a big project to take on. It took a lot of time, a lot more time than I thought it would. But thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate that. And hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day if and when you watch this. And hopefully I get to make some more stuff like this in the future. It was actually a lot of fun, and I did enjoy it. I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.